God's chosen one, pay attention, or you will regret every breath you take. Do not look away. I am speaking to you with urgency because what is unfolding around you is not small. And if you ignore this moment, you may miss a turning point that was prepared before you were born. This warning is not about fear, but about awakening. Because I am drawing you closer to protection, breakthrough, and a shift that can change the direction of your life. If you feel this stirring in your spirit, do not scroll past it or silence it, because what I am about to reveal is meant for you alone, and it carries weight for your future. When I say pay attention, I am telling you that distractions have been stealing your focus, while I have been arranging doors in places you thought were closed forever. If you keep looking away, you will overlook the very signs that prove I am working behind the scenes for your good. I do not speak to condemn you. I speak to alert you because your obedience in this season determines the peace you will walk in next. There is something forming in your life that requires your awareness, and if you ignore it, you may later wish you had listened more closely. This is not a threat of punishment, but a call to alignment, and your response matters deeply. I am reminding you that you are chosen not by accident, not by chance, but by divine intention that stretches far beyond what you can see. You have survived storms that should have broken you, and you have endured silence that could have made you bitter. Yet you are still here because I have covered you. Do not look away from this truth, because when you understand that you are protected, you begin to walk differently. But tonight, God is about to reveal exactly what you have been missing while you were distracted, and why your attention in this exact moment will determine everything that comes next. At exactly 3:33 this morning, I was pulled into a vision that showed me the cost of distraction and the reward of attention. I was standing in a room filled with doors. Not ordinary doors with handles and hinges and frames. Divine doors made of light, each one pulsing with different frequencies of blessing. Some doors led to relationships that would transform your life completely. Some doors led to opportunities that would establish your purpose permanently. Some doors led to healing that would free you from decades of accumulated pain. Some doors led to provision that would fund your calling for generations to come. All of these doors were specifically prepared for one person, and that person was you. But I noticed something deeply troubling. Most of the doors were closing. Slowly, one by one, they were shutting. Not because God withdrew the blessing or changed his mind, but because the one they were prepared for was not paying attention. The doors were closing from neglect, not rejection. I saw you in the vision. You were in the room with all these doors. But you were looking at your phone. You were scrolling through things that did not matter. You were distracted by noise that had no eternal weight. And door after door was closing while you looked away. Then an angel appeared beside me. His face carried grief mixed with urgency. He said, "You are witnessing what happens when the chosen ones do not pay attention." These doors were prepared before the foundation of the world. Each one was crafted for a specific moment in their timeline. But doors of destiny have windows of opportunity. They do not remain open indefinitely. The Father prepares the blessing, but the child must recognize and walk through it. Distraction is the enemy's most effective weapon against the chosen ones. He cannot destroy them, so he distracts them. He cannot remove the doors, so he pulls their attention away until the doors close on their own. This chosen one has lost more blessings to distraction than they will ever know. But tonight, the Father is sending warning. Pay attention. The next doors are opening, and they must not be missed. Then God himself entered the room of doors. His presence caused every door to glow brighter. He walked past the doors that had already closed and approached those that were still open. He placed his hand on each one, keeping them open a little longer. Then he turned and spoke. He said, "I have been trying to get your attention through whispers you dismissed, through nudges you ignored, through signs you called coincidence. I have been speaking, but you have been distracted. The doors I prepared are real, the opportunities I arranged are actual, the connections I orchestrated are waiting, but you must pay attention to recognize them. You have been looking at what glitters instead of what matters. You have been focused on what is loud instead of what is lasting. You have been distracted by the urgent while missing the important. Tonight, I break through the distraction. Tonight, I command your attention. Tonight, I show you what is at stake. Pay attention. Chosen one, the next door opens soon, and if you miss it, it will close like the others." Then Jesus appeared in the room. He walked toward the closed doors with tears in his eyes. He touched each one as if mourning what could have been. Then he turned to me and spoke. He said, "I told them to watch and pray." Matthew 26-41. Not just to pray, to watch, because watching requires attention. The enemy came for them in moments when they slept, when they drifted, when they stopped paying attention. The same is happening now. I prepared these doors. I arranged these blessings. I positioned these opportunities, but my chosen ones are sleeping through their moment. Not physical sleep, spiritual sleep, the sleep of distraction, the sleep of scrolling through meaningless noise while destiny knocks and no one answers. Wake up, pay attention. The doors that remain open will not stay open forever. That word is for you. You are the one with rooms full of doors. You are the one who has missed some already, but you are also the one being warned before the next ones close. Do not skip this message. Do not scroll away. If you leave before the revelation is complete, you will return to the same distraction that has already cost you more than you realize. Stay with me until the end. Your attention right now is the most valuable thing you can offer. Before we go deeper, I need you to do something. Type, "I am paying attention" in the comments below. This is not just typing, this is declaration. You are announcing to heaven that the distraction ends tonight. Type it now. And subscribe immediately. Turn on all notifications. What comes after this video will reveal exactly how to recognize the doors before they close. Miss it and you will know the warning but not the solution. Subscribe now. You did not find this video by accident. You found it because God finally broke through your distraction with an urgent word. This is divine intervention, and your attention is the appropriate response. Do not skip what comes next. The Spirit is about to reveal what distraction has cost you. Let me tell you what distraction has already stolen from you. The first thing stolen was divine timing. There were moments in your past when doors opened at exactly the right time, but you were looking elsewhere. By the time you noticed, the door had closed, the opportunity had passed, the connection had moved on. You felt the loss without understanding what happened. You sensed that something significant had slipped away, but you could not identify what it was because you were not paying attention when it arrived. God says tonight, I do not blame you for the doors you missed. I grieve with you over them, but I am speaking urgently now because more doors are opening, and these doors carry even greater weight than the ones that closed. Your attention has been shattered by 1,000 insignificant things. Each one seemed harmless. Each one felt momentary. But together they created a fog that obscured what I was doing in your life. Tonight, I am burning away that fog. Tonight, I am demanding your focus. Not because I am angry, because I love you too much to let you miss what is coming. The second thing stolen was spiritual discernment. Distraction does not just pull your eyes away, it dulls your spiritual senses. When you are constantly stimulated by noise and information, your ability to hear the quiet voice of the Spirit diminishes. You stop noticing the subtle promptings. You stop recognizing the gentle nudges. You become spiritually numb while remaining physically active. This is why you have felt disconnected even while praying. This is why guidance has seemed unclear even when you asked. This is why decisions have felt confusing even when you sought wisdom. Your spiritual antenna has been jammed by the noise of distraction. But that changes tonight. The Spirit is recalibrating your perception, and what was unclear is about to become unmistakable. The third thing stolen was preparation time. Every door of destiny requires preparation to walk through properly. But distraction consumed the hours that should have been spent preparing. You scrolled when you should have studied. You consumed content when you should have created. You watched others live their purpose while yours sat waiting for your attention. God is not shaming you for this. He is alerting you because there is still time to prepare for what is coming. The next door will open soon, and the preparation window is now. Proverbs 4:25 activates over your attention. Let your eyes look directly forward and your gaze be straight before you. Directly forward, straight before you. Not scattered in 1,000 directions, not fragmented across endless distractions, focused, fixed, intentional. Within 14 days, you will notice a dramatic increase in spiritual clarity, not because circumstances changed, because your attention shifted. And shifted attention creates shifted perception. Do not skip. What comes next reveals why your attention is worth fighting for. Let me tell you why your attention is the most valuable thing you possess. First, attention is the currency of manifestation. What you focus on expands, what you ignore diminishes. This is not mystical thinking. This is spiritual law. When you give your attention to fear, fear grows. When you give your attention to faith, faith strengthens. When you give your attention to your calling comes into focus. When you give your attention to distraction, your purpose becomes blurry. The enemy knows this. That is why his primary strategy is not to destroy you directly. It is to capture your attention and redirect it toward meaningless things. He cannot steal your calling, but he can steal the attention required to fulfill it. God says, your attention has been the battleground, not your circumstances, not your relationships, not your finances, your attention. The enemy has been fighting for your focus because he knows that focus is the key to everything else. When your focus is on me, everything aligns. When your focus is scattered, nothing works properly. I am reclaiming your attention tonight, not to burden you with more demands, to free you from the tyranny of distraction that has been robbing you for years. Second, attention determines authority. You can only exercise authority over what you are paying attention to. If you are not aware of a spiritual attack, you cannot resist it. If you are not noticing a divine opportunity, you cannot seize it. If you are not perceiving a relationship shift, you cannot respond to it. Awareness is the prerequisite to authority, and awareness requires attention. This is why Jesus constantly told his followers to watch, watch, and pray. Watch for the signs, watch for his return. Because watching is how you stay positioned for authority. Archangel Michael declared over your attention, I have watched the chosen ones lose battles, not because they lacked power, but because they lacked awareness. They were given authority over every demon, but they were distracted when the demons attacked. They were given power over circumstances, but they were scrolling when the circumstances shifted. Authority is meaningless without attention. I am assigned to fight for this chosen one, but I cannot fight their battles if they are not even aware the battle is happening. Tonight, their awareness awakens. Tonight, their attention sharpens. Tonight, they become dangerous to the enemy again. Third, attention is how you hear God. God rarely shouts. He whispers, he nudges, he prompts. He speaks in the still, small voice, but that voice cannot compete with constant noise. It will not force itself above your distractions. It waits for your attention to become available. And when your attention is perpetually occupied, the voice waits and waits and waits. This is why you have felt like God was silent. He was not silent. You were too distracted to hear. Jesus spoke over your hearing. He said, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." Matthew 11:15. The ears were always there. The capacity to hear was always present. But hearing requires attention. Chosen one, you have ears. But your ears have been filled with noise. Tonight, the noise is being cleared. Tonight, the channel is being cleaned. Tonight, you will hear what you have been missing. Pay attention. I am speaking. Within 21 days, you will experience communication with God unlike anything you have experienced in years. Not because God changed, because your attention shifted to where His voice could be heard. Let me tell you how to reclaim your attention. First, audit your inputs. Everything you allow into your mind is competing for your attention. News feeds that make you anxious, endless scrolling that makes you compare. Entertainment that numbs your spirit. Conversations that drain your energy. Not all of these are evil, but all of them consume attention that could be directed toward purpose. You must become intentional about what you allow in, because what comes in determines what comes out. God says, I am not asking you to live in a cave. I am asking you to become selective. Your mind was designed to focus on what matters, but you have trained it to scatter across what distracts. This training can be reversed. Begin choosing what deserves your attention, instead of giving it to whatever demands it loudest. Silence what drains you, amplify what builds you. Create space for my voice by reducing the noise that competes with it. Second, create sacred pauses. Your attention has been hijacked by constant stimulation. The antidote is intentional stillness. Moments in your day where you stop consuming and start perceiving. Minutes of silence where you listen instead of scroll. Spaces of solitude where your spirit can hear what your noise has been blocking. This is not about lengthy meditation retreats. This is about small, consistent pauses that accumulate into restored attention. 5 minutes in the morning before you check your phone, 10 minutes in the evening before you sleep. Small pockets of attention directed toward the divine. Psalm 46:10 activates over your stillness. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally, attentionally, still enough to know, still enough to perceive, still enough to hear what the noise has been drowning out. Third, practice presence. Distraction pulls you into the past or the future. Regret about what was, anxiety about what might be. Presence anchors you in the now. And now is where God operates. Now is where doors open. Now is where opportunity appears. When your mind drifts to yesterday or tomorrow, gently bring it back to this moment. What is God doing now? What is He saying now? What door is opening now? This practice of presence will sharpen your ability to recognize divine movement in real time. And real time is when the doors open. Within 72 hours, begin implementing at least one of these practices. Start small, but start immediately. The reclamation of your attention cannot wait for a convenient moment. The convenient moment is now. Let me tell you what happens when you reclaim your attention. First, doors that seemed invisible will become suddenly obvious. Opportunities you never noticed will appear as if from nowhere. Not because they were not there before, because you are finally paying attention to where they have been waiting all along. People will seem to appear out of nowhere with exactly what you need at exactly the right moment. Resources will materialize in ways that feel completely supernatural. Solutions will present themselves to problems that seemed absolutely impossible. Connections will form that feel orchestrated by a hand much larger than coincidence. None of this is coincidence or luck or chance. It is the result of attention finally directed toward what God is doing. It is the reward of focus replacing distraction. It is the manifestation of awareness meeting opportunity. Second, your discernment will sharpen dramatically and unmistakably. You will know things without being told. You will sense shifts before they fully happen. You will perceive deception immediately and recognize truth instantly without confusion. This is not a new gift being added to you. It is an existing gift finally functioning because the interference has been removed. Your spiritual senses have always been capable of this level of perception. Distraction was jamming the signal and blocking the reception. With distraction removed, the signal comes through crystal clear. Third, your prayers will become more powerful and effective. Distracted prayers scatter into the atmosphere without focus or direction. Attentive prayers pierce into the heavenly realm with precision and power. When you pray with full attention, you engage with God at a level that produces results. You will notice that prayers you prayed for years without visible answer will suddenly manifest. Not because God finally decided to act on your behalf, because you finally prayed with the attention that faith requires, because you finally engaged at the level that moves heaven. Hebrews 11:6 activates over your faith. And without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists, and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Earnestly seek, not casually mention, not distractedly request. Earnestly seek with full attention directed toward the one you are seeking. That earnest seeking produces the reward. Now seal this revelation over your life. Say this out loud. Your voice activates the understanding in the spiritual realm. Almighty Father, the one who has been trying to get my attention for so long, I receive the revelation of focus tonight. I confess that distraction has stolen more from me than I ever realized. Doors have closed because I was not paying attention when they opened. Opportunities have passed because I was looking elsewhere at meaningless things. Your voice has whispered while I was drowning in noise that did not matter. Tonight, the distraction ends completely. Tonight, my attention shifts permanently. Tonight, I become focused in a way I have not been in years. I audit my inputs and remove what distracts from what truly matters. I create sacred pauses where your voice can be heard clearly. I practice presence so I can perceive what you are doing right now in my life. I declare that my spiritual discernment is sharpening. I declare that divine doors are becoming visible. I declare that my prayers are becoming powerful. I declare that my attention is no longer scattered. I am paying attention. I am watching and praying. I am focused on what you are doing, and I will not miss the doors you are opening. In Jesus' name, Amen. Heaven recorded that declaration. The distraction has been broken. The attention has been reclaimed, and the doors that are opening will not be missed. Now complete the revelation. First, like this video right now, this is not about numbers or algorithms or statistics. This is about agreement. When you press that button, you agree that your attention has been reclaimed. Do it now. Second, subscribe and turn on all notifications immediately. More revelation about recognizing divine doors is coming very soon. If you are not subscribed, distraction will pull you away and you will miss it. Subscribe now. Third, share this video with another chosen one who has been deeply distracted. Someone who has been missing doors without even knowing it was happening. Someone who needs this urgent warning before their next opportunity closes forever. Send this to them right now. Fourth, type "I am paying attention" in the comments. Let other awakening chosen ones know that focus is being reclaimed across the earth. Let heaven record your commitment to attention over distraction. Type it now, chosen one. You came to this video scrolling through content like everything before it, distracted by the same patterns that have been stealing your focus for years, not realizing that doors were closing while you looked elsewhere at things that did not matter, not understanding that your scattered attention was costing you more than you knew. You are leaving knowing that your attention is the most valuable thing you possess. That distraction has been the enemy's primary weapon against your purpose and calling. That doors have been prepared for you that require your awareness to recognize and walk through. That tonight marks the end of scattered focus and the beginning of intentional, purposeful attention. Pay attention. The next door is opening soon, and you are finally awake enough to see it when it does. I am paying attention now. I am watching and praying daily. I am focused and ready. The doors will not be missed. Not this time. Not anymore. Never again. Amen.